Hey guys, hope you're keeping well. So I've just sat down with Ash of the Karma Effect to talk about the band's brand new debut album, which is released today, March 18th, and is an absolute stormer. The guys have been very kind enough to send me the album ahead of its release, and I've managed to sit with the track for a few weeks now, and it's absolutely storming is all I can say. Go get yourself a copy. Go to karmaeffect.co.uk, grab yourself a copy of this wonderful album, and in the meantime, listen to me and Ash talk about the album itself, their launch show that they've got today. They've also got shows lined up, Outlaw Weekend with my good friend Diggy. They've also got shows lined up with Scarlet Rebels and a few other live shows lined up in the pipeline and everything else of the album. And you can hear everything Ash and I have to say right now. And we're joined by Ash of Karma Effect. How you keeping, Ash, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Thank you. All good. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. All good.
Good.
When we air this interview on this Friday, Friday the 18th of March, you guys will be launching your debut self-titled album. You've been really kind enough to send me the tracks for quite a while now. It's nice I've had the room to to breathe with the album and to get to delve in properly with it, mate. I'm so excited for this launch. I really am. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I've been following you guys since day dot because I haven't. You know, you're a new band to me. When I first heard "Steal Your Heart" at the beginning of the year, it got tail end of last year. Sorry, when I heard that come out, that was like a moment where I was like, "This is for me." And then hearing the album, mate, I've been so excited for this release, man.
Oh, mate, thank you so much. No, we really appreciate that, and with all your support you've given us since Still Your Heart was out, putting it on your show and all that. So, we really appreciate all the kind words, man. Yeah, it's been
And
a bit
man,
of
they're
a
well
been a
deserved. I'm not the only one saying them. You've got getting some rave reviews from the album already, mate.
Yeah, it's been good, man. It's been really well received. So yeah, we've had quite a few good reviews and whatnot. So yeah, we just can't wait for people to hear it now, mate. That's like what we're waiting for. Like all the people that we care about, like or not care about, but like all the people we want to hear it.
Yeah,
Finally comes out on Friday. So hopefully they like it just as much as everyone else has so far.
I'm sure they will, mate. I'm sure they will. If they've got ears, they'll like it. That's what I'm.
Thanks, man.
That's no worries. So, is there any songs in particular? Obviously, you released "Steal Your Heart." You released my mind's gone blank. Do you want to
We
be?
did
You
we did
did
Mercy.
Mercy and Doubt She's Coming Back, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, other than those three, are there any songs in the album in particular you're looking forward for people to hear?
Um, I think one song in particular that I'm really excited for people to hear is a song called Stand. I
Yes.
think it's you know, when we played our first show back in last summer at Leo's, and we were fortunate enough to have the guys from Rockosaurus there film it for us, which
Oh,
is
nice.
is great for us because it was like, oh wow, first gig, we're having it filmed, so we can literally take it away and kind of dissect it and everything, and we uploaded and they uploaded it to YouTube, and then we did it track by track, and that was seemed to be one that people just like gravitated to. They were like, wow, that seems like a really good song, and yeah, that's one that I'm personally really proud of on the record. I think it's probably the most different on the record. It's a bit of a slower song. It's got a
Yeah,
bit
it's
more
definitely
sort of
like dropped a pace a bit, isn't it? It's got that, but it's still got that real groove to it.
yeah, that's it. And I think where it falls on the album, it's kind of pretty much the halfway point. So
Mm.
it's a nice little reset for the second half of the album. And Seb does, it's our keyboard player Seb. He just does the most amazing like keyboard solo at the end. And every time I hear it, I've been listening to it for the last year almost. And every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh mate, that's so good. So yeah, I just really can't wait for people to hear that one. So yeah, I
It's
think I'd
cool,
go with
man.
Stand.
Well, that's what I like about what you mentioned in Seb there, and I think no disrespect to anyone else in the band because you're fantastic musicians. I'm loving to, but Seb, I do believe is your secret weapon, mate. There's not enough real solid keyboard players out there at the minute. I mean, and then there are. I mean, Richard These Wicked Rivers is fantastic, and he's taken up the guys a few notches since he joined the band. But I do think that Seb is your ace in up your sleeve, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. And I think Henry said that when he was on earlier in the year. And like it's something that as a band we've never. This is the first band originals band that I've played in
Oh,
that's had a
okay.
keyboard player, and we've done stuff before with me, Henry, and Liam, and other people and whatnot. And yeah, it just brings us such a different dynamic, and it kind of just you know we're writing parts around what Seb could be doing on the keyboard, and we've never had that before because it's always been right. Guitar's doing this, bass is doing that, and drums is doing that. And
Yeah.
now it's like, okay, what's Seb going to do? How can, like you said, how can Seb elevate this? How can he take it to the next level? And I really do think that it's like you say, a secret weapon. And I think yeah, people love him as well, and he's, you know, it helps that he's fantastic at what he does. So
Yeah, of course. I mean, like you say, it's not, don't get me wrong, like you say, the solos on it, like the understand and everything else that he's coming through, but it's even just like the sort of subtle underpinning and stuff and just like thickening up bits and pieces. It just sounds great, man. But, you know, my dad brought me
yeah,
up
that's it.
Purple, so I'm going to love someone with some decent Hammond organ sounds in there.
Well, that's it, you know, and you know, in one of the songs on the album called "Wrong Again," you know, there's a little bit of a middle eight section that, you know, in one of the reviews we had was referred to as a sort of deep purple infused section, and we were like, let's just get that wailing Hammond over that sort of crazy bit in the middle eight, and it will just kind of, you know, it, like you said, it just sits underneath, and it just kind of creates a bed for everything else to work on, and it's just great. He's so good, and we're so lucky to have him.
Yeah, definitely, man. So you were saying you've heard the songs for about a year. That how long ago did everything get wrapped up for the album itself?
So in terms of writing the songs and penning the demos and stuff, that was probably, I would probably say about a year ago. I think last February, March sort of time was when, you know, when we were all in lockdown, we were having Zoom calls every week, every Wednesday or Thursday, whenever it was, and we would get on and we would write the demos. And we're fortunate that Henry's got a bit of a home studio sort of thing, so we just sit on Zoom and write. And then sort of April, May, we went into record, and obviously, you know, me and Liam did our parts first. And I think actually the recordings were probably wrapped up around June, July sort of time, and then I think the final touches on the vocals were added sort of end of July, start of August. So we, you know, on things songs like Doubt She's Coming Back, we've added like a little female vocal on there as well. And on Mercy, you hear the female vocal. We were like, let's just add that in. And, you know, we were listening, we took the songs away after Henry had done the initial vocal tracks, and we were like, it's really good. Like, what you've done is amazing, but how can we add something different? And then we were like, oh, do you know what? Before we finish, let's just add a little a female vocal on there.
Who
So
did
yeah,
the female vocal, because I was going to ask about that, obviously, because not unless really kicked Henry in the nuts. I don't think he can sing like that. So
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him sometimes, but yeah, female vocal was done by our good friend Georgia, who's actually Henry's fiance. So we're quite lucky in that sense that, you know, she's a fantastic vocalist. We've all known her.
Voice.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She went to BIM down in Brighton with myself, Henry, and Robbie,
Cool.
and so that's where they met, and they sort of, you know, they've been together since then, and, you know, they got engaged last year and whatnot. And we're just really fortunate that she was there on hand to kind of just come in and do the vocal parts, and she's done a fantastic job. So yeah,
That's cool, man. It's nice that you, like you say, you got that another ace up your sleeve, as it were, to, you know, kind of tap into when you've got.
That's it. And, you know,
little things like that for me make an album a 10 out of 10 album rather than the 7 or 8. It's never anything huge. Tail end of last year, me and my mate Aaron, who does Beyond the Vibe podcast, we got together and did like a best albums of 2021. And one of the things we were saying, when we were doing our top 10, there was not a big leap in quality of album between like 6 and 1. It was just all these little tiny little things that, like you say, you'd be putting those extra touches in that just gives it that bigger flourish. And it seems like you guys really thought about that on this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, with it being our debut album, I think we had the time to do that as well. You know, like, you know, we weren't under any sort of time constraints in terms of like, look, we've set a release date, we want to get it out. It was kind of like, when it's done and completely finished and we're 100% happy with it, then we'll set a release date and then we'll work to that. And yeah, like we love adding those little things in. So one thing that we really liked on a song like Mercy was adding in the female vocals in the chorus and giving Georgia that line at the end of the bridge, like before it goes into the guitar solo. It was like, oh, Henry could do that. You know, Henry, you could definitely do that. But why not? Let's give Georgia, or give the female vocal a line of their own. And we love that sort of music as well. So, you know, like bands like the Black Crowes, when they have like a female vocal on a lot of their tracks, and we just like, just adds so much, like, I don't know, it gives it that gospel vibe. So on Stand, like I mentioned, we were like, let's get the female vocal on that, because it will just cement it in that style that we're going for.
That's great, man. I mean, I'm a huge Black Crowes fan. I think that's probably where we lined up. You know, when I first heard you guys, I had a massive dose of Black Crowes.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that they reschedule all those dates and do come to the UK again, because I'd love to see
them. Yeah, 100%. We'll definitely be there.
So if you could go on tour with anyone, I know I asked Henry this, so he's had his choice. If you could make the choice of you get one support slot, you can go out of anyone. Who would you take the band on with?
Oh, in the UK or in the US? What do you want? Or anywhere?
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Do you know what? I think we were talking about it earlier actually, and they've just released UK tour dates. The Rolling Stones, 100%. It'd have to be the Rolling Stones. I just think like they are the epitome of what so many rock bands these days aspire to be, and it's, you know, they were the first to do it, or one of the first to do it, and I just think they're so cool and they're amazing. And I know obviously we had the thing with Charlie Watts last year, and you know, it's great to see them still going strong as well. And they also have arguably one of my favorite drummers of all time now playing with them, Steve Jordan.
Okay.
So yeah, just to play with the Rolling Stones, man, like it'd be great, be so good.
Yeah. I mean, what I thought was nice about Steve Jordan, you know, stepping into the still, was that Charlie Watts actually asked him to do it, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because he was originally going to do it when Charlie Watts fell ill, and then obviously it was a lot more serious. So yeah, I love that. Love that.
Yeah, and I like that kind of, you know, handing over the torch as it were. But I thought that was pretty
Big
cool.
time. Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to try and grab tickets to the Hyde Park show because I'm yet to see the Stones live, and they're definitely one I've got to. So.
Yeah, us too. I was with Henry earlier on actually, and we were like, look, let's just go. Like when this could, you never know when the last chance is going to be to go and see these sort of bands.
No, exactly.
So, you know, and we're fortunate enough that they're doing it again, and they're all getting on a little bit, as we know, and so let's just go. Let's do it. So,
and then, you know, in the changeovers, you guys can rush the stage, take over and do a set.
That's it, mate.
Throws you off.
That's it. That'd be great.
Also, obviously, like when we're in this on the 18th, you've got your own album launch show that you'll be playing as this is airing. Great choice on Hunted by Elephants, by the way. Not heard them before. You guys announced that they would be supporting you, so I went and checked them out. They're a great band.
Yeah, man, we really like them. They gave us a sort of early Whitesnake sort of vibe, and we were like, yeah, these guys are quality, you know. So yeah, we're really looking forward to playing with them. They're a great band, really great band.
Not been to the. I mean, I was hoping to come down to it, but unfortunately, my 9 to 5 got in the way of me pre-recording this show, basically.
Oh,
so I'm not going to make it up, unfortunately. But I've not been to the Crown Inn before. What's that like as a venue, dude?
Yeah, it's a great venue, man. Like it's in our hometown in Oxted, and you know when we decided we were going to do a hometown show, we were kind of like, oh, where are we going to do it? You know, there's a theatre in our town, but it's not really that sort of thing. And the Crown, it's got like a big marquee venue out the back.
Nice.
And you know, we've played there a few times in old bands and cover bands and all that sort of stuff, and so it does have quite a good reputation for live music. But I don't know, we may or may not be the first original band to play there. I think I might have done a couple of nights there, like with a few years ago before COVID and that. But yeah, they've just refurbished like the outside marquee area, put a proper big stage in there. So yeah, man, looking forward to it. It'd be really good.
Yeah. I bet you just can't wait. Like, you've been sitting on these songs for, like you say, nearly the best part of a year. So I bet you're just waiting up to, you know, kick them off live, I suppose, aren't you?
That's it, man. That's it. Like, we've played them a few times, and the reception's been great, but obviously no one's heard them by that point. So we're like, you know, it's people are getting the first impression, and the first impression, you know, that we're getting from people is fantastic. But yeah, hopefully, like, we've had like songs like Mercy and Steal Your Heart out for quite a while now, so we're hoping that a few people might be there singing the words. That's the aim.
Yeah, that's always a good sign.
Yeah, man.
And you've also been announced for Outlaw Weekend around by my good mate Deggy. I saw you there.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
So yeah, I'll be coming up for that. So that might be the first time I go see you guys live. So
oh, awesome. Yeah, we're really looking forward to that, man. We're playing there's some fantastic bands on the bill, and we're playing on the I think we're playing on the Sunday. So yeah, man, we're really looking forward to that. Really, and I think that Friday we're up in Wales supporting Scarlet Rebels as well. So it's a bit of a good weekend for us. So yeah,
that's a good
hopefully I think we're trying to get a show on the Saturday, but I don't know what's going on with that yet. But yeah, man, it'd be great. We're looking forward to both of those.
Oh, nice one, man. How's you played with Scarlet Rebels before, or?
No, we haven't.
No, you know, I thought I saw another date with you guys on. That might have been a mistake.
Yes, we're playing with them at the start of I think the 8th of April. We're playing with them. We're playing up in London at the Black Heart with them.
That was the show I saw, the Black Heart. Yeah, I must have just got the date wrong then.
Yeah, so 8th of April, I think that one is. And then I think at the 29th of April, we're heading up to Wales to play with them up in Buckley, which is going to be great.
No,
Both fantastic venues, man. I've never played the Black Heart before.
no, I mean, I've been to Blackout a few times, but I never played them myself. Like, but no, it's a good venue, the Black Heart. I like it, and apparently they've finally sorted out their toilets from when I was last there. Because
oh, really? Was notoriously bad, were they?
they were done. You stood in the toilet and you pissed outside, sort of thing. It was you had to go in the shower, go in the shallow end when you went in there. It was
Oh, mate,
yeah,
can't
it
be
was a
having
bit
that.
grim. And they finally it was the place where like the last few times I was there for a band, me and my mates we're not snobs, but it was rank. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen
there's a limit, isn't there? There's a
I've
limit.
seen better toilets at festivals, if I'm being honest.
Oh, mate, that's bad.
So,
That's bad.
so we were actually like leaving and then going down the road to where the Brewdog pub was to go for a piss and come back.
Mate, I don't blame you. That sounds awful.
Yeah, so but apparently it's all cleaned up now, so you don't have to worry about
good.
it when you're in there, mate.
Good. Good.
We managed it. I got it sorted for you. Don't worry about it.
Put the word in. Karma effect
And I
coming.
said,
So you
Karma
need to
effect
clean.
come to play. Sort it out.
That's it.
So, what other live shows you got that coming up there, dude?
So we've got the album launch on Friday. We've got the 2 shows with Scarlet Rebels. We had a show booked with Revival Black on the 7th of May at Leo's Red Lion for their album launch, but I think that's been postponed, pushed back to October. Not sure on the exact date yet, but I think they've pushed their release back. So we're still on the bill for that, but I think it's just going to go ahead in October instead. And we've got the Outlaw Weekend, like you said. And we've got, put me on the spot here, mate. I haven't got my calendar in front of me. But yeah, those in the immediate future, we've got the 2 shows with Scarlet Rebels, and we've got the Outlaw Weekend and the album launch on Friday, obviously.
There you go. Perfect. So you know the immediate ones. That's all you need to know, mate.
Yeah, that's it. Just tell me where I got beat,
This is it.
No.
I asked Henry the same question that I'm going to ask you, just because I'm always interested in when I'm chatting. I mean, I'm a bass player myself, so I'm always interested when people have this moment. But what was the lightning moment for yourself? What made you want to, get behind the kit and start playing? And
oh, mate. So mine was a bit of a funny journey, to be honest. I started playing guitar. I had guitar lessons for 2 years, and I probably was about 10 or 11 when I started playing guitar. Yeah, about 10 or 11. Played for a couple of years. Really wasn't for me. Just didn't have the patience for it, man. Just like, I'd turn up to my lessons and I really enjoyed it, but I'd come away feeling really disheartened. And then I started listening to bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and songs like Danny California. And I was like, the drum intro for Danny California. Yeah. I was like, I have to be able to play that. I have to know how to play that drum intro. And that was kind of it, really. I just kind of booked the drum room at our secondary school and just bash along to things aimlessly. And I had the passion for it, but I didn't have the skill at that point. And then one of my friends who was a couple of years older, who got the same school bus as me, was like, "Oh, do you know what? One day he just told me, I'll just come over to my house and I'll teach you how to play a couple of things." And he did. He taught me how to play the basic 4/4 beat and that sort of thing. And the rest is history, really. Nice. Just kind of learned things by ear. I never really had a proper lesson until I went to BIM with the others. So yeah,
that's cool, man. Yeah. I think you could have a far worse reason to change than Chad Smith. I think he's one of the best drummers going.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like, even though I love the Chili's still to this day, but like, when people say, "Oh, who's your favorite drummer?" and that sort of thing, and he's never really one that's cropped up as like my favorite, but I think there's so much of his playing in my playing as well. That sort of tight, I always try and play for the song but hit hard as well, that sort of thing. So yeah, definitely.
I mean, he did, when I was at uni, he did like a drum academy thing at the university that I was studying at. It was him and Steve White, who played for like Paul Weller, and I think he did.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know Steve White. Yeah,
and it was him and Steve White, and they sort of did it in 2 sets, if you like. And then they sort of did out there. I mean, my housemate was a drummer, so he was going to go. And just as a bass player and musician, I'm like, I'm going down to this. This is going to be cool. And I think that's when I always liked him as a drummer. I loved him in Chili's, loved him in the work he did with Chickenfoot as well. I thought that sort of showcased sort of heavier, harder hitting side. Obviously, Chili's quite funk orientated and more on the grooves, like say, playing for the song. But watching him, I remember he did this thing where he just took out his snare drum. and he was trying to show like all the different sounds you could get out of a snare by just, you know, how you're hitting in the accents you were hitting with it and all that kind of thing. And he must have gone about 20 minutes on the snare with just his,
Wow.
and I was just like, sound again, I've never heard so much like big sounds just come out of one part of the kit. And it was quite funny because when he came off, obviously they came off, they jumped, the finale, if you like, was them doing sort of dueling drum solo. It's him and Steve White. And then they sort of stood up behind each kit and then moved around their own drum kits and sort of swapped.
Quality.
Really cool. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, mate,
and,
that's awesome.
After that, they sort of jumped into the crowd and were chatting to people and stuff. And Chad Smith naturally was sort of getting a bit hounded. There's a lot of people wanting to talk to Chad Smith, and Steve White was quite near us. And he said, "Oh, you enjoy that, guys?" And we're having a chat with Steve White. He was a really nice guy. And we're like just sort of talking to him about what we'd seen. And next thing we know, I just felt this guy come sort of behind me and my mate, and it was Chad Smith. And I forgot how fucking tall he is.
Yeah, he's massive, man. He is massive.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, that's awesome.
I just remember me and my Ben going, "All right."
Yeah, what do you say in that situation?
Yeah.
Chad Smith's just come up behind you. Yeah. Oh, mate, yeah. So I think he did one at BIM as well, but I think it was just before we went. And I remember talking to the tutors when we were there, and they were saying that it was unbelievable, but he hits the drums harder than anyone they'd ever seen. They were like, he's just plays so hard. But yeah, what an experience. I'd love to have gone to that.
That was cool, man. So you saying that he wouldn't have necessarily been in your top 5 drummers or whatever? Who would be in your top 3 if you were to choose?
I think that, as I mentioned him earlier on, I think Steve Jordan's fantastic. Bit of a slightly sort of different style to my playing, but just on an appreciation level, I'm just like, this guy is unbelievable. You know, in terms of, like I said, playing for the song, just the overall groove and feel. Like he's you can't get anyone better than Steve Jordan, really. Maybe bar a couple of people. Jeff Porcaro from Toto, probably my number one. Probably, you know, he's just fantastic. You know, everyone mentions the Rosanna Shuffle. You talk about famous drum beats, and you're talking about Rosanna Shuffle and that sort of thing. And Jeff Porcaro, you know, fantastic session musician, fantastic like all round player. Again, plays for the song, you know, that sort of thing. And probably John Bonham. It's got to be John Bonham, to be honest. You know, the guy's a legend. The guy's just as simple as that. To bring the sort of his jazz background, technical aspect to such a blues rock like arena was just unbelievable. You know, who has the balls to play the groove to Good Times Bad Times on the first song on your first album? Do you know what I mean? Like who does that? But it worked, and it's fantastic. And just unbelievable.
I think that's it. Drummers who always sort of, for one of a better term, break the mold. I think they're the ones who stand out at the end of the day. You know?
Yeah. 100%.
There's nothing wrong with, like you say, playing for the song. Speaking of that, have you ever listened to Phil Campbell's podcast, Dane Campbell's podcast, I should say?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Dane Campbell of Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons does a Drum for the Song podcast.
Do you know what? Actually, I've seen that. I've seen it on the New Wave of Classic Rock group floating about a few times.
Really interesting. Yeah, and he just talks to drummers, various drummers. He's had everyone from Matt Sorum on there, and he's had everyone from Viv Campbell on there. People he's had on over there. Mickey D. Mickey D. It's really interesting. Even if you're not a drummer, it's a really good listen.
Oh, great! I'll have to check that out, man.
Yeah, check
it out.
That's
awesome.
But yeah, go check it out. I recommend that. So I guess, what does the rest of the year hold out for you guys, and other than the album launch and which live shows you got lined up?
Mate, just honestly, just promoting the album as much as we can. You know, we're trying to get out in front of as many people as we possibly can. You know, the reception that we've had from the singles we've released and the hype behind the album's been fantastic, and we want to bring that on the road now. We want to go around the country, around. You know, now we can travel. We want to travel into Europe as much as we can, that sort of thing. You know, we've seen, you know, our Electric Black, who are on the same management as us, are in Spain at the moment, and you know that's something that
Ali and the boys were out there.
Yeah, man. So you know that's something that we'd love to do as well, and yeah, just honestly play shows. Probably start writing for album number 2, because we're all, you know, Henry's always writing. He's always coming up with ideas. We've got a few things floating about at the moment. So yeah, I just think we're just honestly just trying to get out and play in front of as many people as we can. So that's the aim, mate.
Can't blame you, dude. Well, Ash, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate you coming on, dude. And like I
Oh,
say, I'll
mate,
see
no
you
worries.
Outlaw if I don't see you before. Just one more thing before I let you go, buddy. At the beginning of the interview, we are going to play Testify, because it's probably my favorite of the album. But what song of yours would you like us to play at the end of the interview?
Any song by any
Anything.
band? Okay. I'm going to go with, oh, you put me on the spot here, man. Let's go with, I've been listening to a lot of Blackstone Cherry recently. So I'm going to go with Lonely Train by Blackstone Cherry, because it's one of the first rock songs I ever got into. So yeah, let's go with Lonely Train by Blackstone Cherry.
Good start.
So yeah.
All right, dude. Thanks for your time, man.
Cool. Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
No worries.